Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. So today we will discuss on Canto 2, chapters 4, 5 and 6 of Canto 2. Yesterday we discussed 3 chapters, and there are total 10 chapters in this Canto 2. And we did 3 chapters yesterday, 3 today, and then tomorrow we'll try to complete the Canto 2. Here we are continuing with Maharaj Pariksit. We'll describe about, excuse me, how the sages of Naimisharanya want to know, as well as Maharaj Pariksit wants to know about creation, which is something which sometimes some devotees feel it is very dry. But then, very nicely in the form of cultural Vaishnava etiquette, also is explained by how Shukadev Goswami explains how Maharaj Narada Muni asked Brahmaji about the same questions and what Brahma replied, who is the engineer of this universe. All right. So we'll ask for blessings from the previous acharyas before we proceed, because we are really not qualified to even speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, but we are very grateful for the mercy of the Supreme Lord that through his potency and through the potency of the previous acharyas and our Guru Vargas, especially Srila Prabhupada, that we are being allowed to repeat these glorious words. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Vilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here it explains how Maharaj Pariksit, he was constantly wrapped in the thought of Lord Krishna, knowing well about his imminent death. He completely renounced all fruitive activities, all dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and just fixed himself firmly in natural love for Krishna. And he started asking all these questions as what the sages of Naimisharanya was asking Suta Goswami about creation. Right? This is, if you remember, in the first canto, the third question was about the creation, and here second and third canto describes all these details. So Maharaj Pariksit asked Shukadev Goswami. This is what Suta Goswami is telling all the sages of Naimisharanya, that I want to know. He actually asked two questions. I wanted to know the personal energies of the Supreme Personality, how he creates these different universes, which is inconceivable. Even to demigods, they cannot understand. And second question was, please describe how the Supreme Lord what are his energies and expansions. So basically about his expansions in terms of maintaining this world, and how it creates and how he maintains this world. These are the two questions that was asked by Maharaj Pariksit, and he was completely renounced, completely focused on, he renounced dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and that's why he was fully dedicated to the Pancham Purushartha, which is love of God, prema. That's why it said, Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Vargen Tatradharana Para. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying Srimad Bhagavatam is the Amala Pramana, is the evidence of purity, pure evidence of Prema Pumartho Mahan, that pure love of God is the highest. So now it's going into understanding of creation. Okay, he said, please, Maharaj Pariksit is telling Shukadeva Goswami, clear up all these inquiries that I have about the creation and maintenance of this universe. And I'm asking you because not only are you a scholar in Vedic literatures, but because you are self-realized also. So Srila Prabhupada here explains that we should understand the qualification of a guru. A guru is someone who is not only knowledgeable in the Vedic scriptures, but has also realized his position as regards to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by implementing the Vedic literatures. Both of them are very important. And here, anyone who is following Srila Prabhupada is at that standard. He is a scholar in Vedic literatures. In the modern world, no one has written books on Vedic literatures as much as he has, with such depth and clarity and devotion. So he's the greatest scholar. At the same time, he's so self-realized. He's realized his position as this eternal servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. And no one has done much service than him. So he is the standard of guru. And anyone who is following in the footsteps, following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, he can also be considered a guru, as long as he's following the instructions. So by the potency of Srila Prabhupada, everyone else will also be empowered. Now, in the previous verse, actually, Maharaj Pariksit said that, the Lord is completely inconceivable even to the greatest scholars. So then a question may be asked, if the Lord is inconceivable to greatest scholars, why is he saying that, oh Shukadev Goswami, you are the greatest scholar, therefore you tell me? But he just said greatest scholars cannot understand. This is because not only was Shukadev Goswami realized, he was also a self-realized soul and a powerful devotee. Both are very important. Similarly, as we go forward, we understand that Shukadev Goswami, when was asked by Maharaj Pariksit about all these questions about creation and maintenance, and he was glorifying. You can see how a disciple asks questions to his guru. He glorifies the guru. He's not asking questions as a challenge, but by glorifying, he is saying, I'm submissive to you and I really respect you. And that's why I want these answers. Please enlighten me. And Shukadev Goswami, when he had to reply, it says that he systematically remembered Rishikesha. Sutta uvacha iti upamantrito ragya gunanu kathane hare Rishikesham manusmritya prativaktum panchakrame. Rishikesham anusmritya. He remembered the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, when we are asked a question, we should learn from here that we should first pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead to please empower us to speak in a way that can enlighten the person who is asking the questions, because we are just humble instruments. I don't know the answer. That is humility. Humility means I don't know. But it doesn't just end there. Humility means I don't know, but Krishna, you know. You are the source of all knowledge. Please take me as a conduit of your electricity and pass the current through me of spiritual knowledge so I can be your instrument in spreading your glories in the entire world. This is the mood of Shukadev Goswami. And this is very, very important that we must do that. And then he says, before answering the question, he is glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although the question was not about the Supreme Personality, it was about the creation. But he starts by glorifying the Supreme Personality. Not only glorifying, but glorifying the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He says in text 15, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto all the auspicious Lord Shri Krishna, about whom glorification, remembrances, audience, prayers, hearing, and worship can at once cleanse the effects of all the sins of the performer. So this is very important, that if we just glorify Krishna, if we just chant Krishna's holy name with a mood to glorify him, with a mood that I am insignificant but you are great, then it at once cleans the effects of the sins of the performer. And now we may ask, well, but I've been chanting for so long, I've been speaking Srimad Bhagavatam for so long, I've been hearing from so long, my sins, I don't feel the effect of my sins being cleared. Srila Prabhupada explains, there is a condition that such glorification and chanting must be offenseless. If it is not offenseless, namnad balad hi yasya hi papa buddhi, which means if we perform sins thinking that because I'm reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, because I'm chanting the holy name, these sins will anyway go away. If we commit sins with this mentality deliberately, then we will not have the effect of the cleansing of the sins. That is an offense. And that's why what Ajamil did, Ajamil was a big sinner. He was a devotee of the Lord, but later he fell into sinful activities. But at the end of his life, he called out to his son Narayan, but he called out helplessly when he saw the Yamadutas. He was so helpless. And he just helplessly, he knew, I have no other way to go. There is no hope for me. In hopelessness, he found hope. Because when he cried out, Krishna, Narayan, Narayan, and he was not even calling to the Supreme Lord Narayan, but he chanted the name helplessly. Therefore, it came out offenselessly. And therefore, the Vishnudutas came, because of the offenseless chanting. So if we can chant, as Srila Prabhupada says, just like a child cries for its mother, if we can chant like that, then automatically we'll be able to chant offenselessly. But we have to really work on feeling that I'm such a great sinner. I'm an offender. I came out of the spiritual world. I left Krishna and came here, but now I want to go back. And I'm feeling so ashamed. By the mercy of my Guru Maharaj, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have been given some entrance. And I'm grateful for that because I really do not deserve it. I really do not deserve it. But I have no other hope. I'm hopelessly hoping for hope. I'm helplessly taking your shelter. If we chant in this mood and we build this kind of mood to whatever extent, then we'll be able to chant offenselessly. Then Maharaj Pariksit says a very, very important verse on glorification of chanting the holy names. Kiratahuna andhra pulinda pulkasha abhira shumbha yavana khasadaya yenye cha papa yadapashraya shraya shuddhyanti tasmai prabhavishnave namaha. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, text 18 of chapter 4 of Srimad Bhagavatam that we are hearing. And here it says that all these different races and other sinful races are actually, all their sins are eradicated. Shuddhyanti tasmai, they become purified. How? Prabhavishnave namaha. Which means if they offer their obeisances to Vishnu. Which are these races? Kirata, Huna, Andhra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abhira, Shumbha, Yavana, Khasa Adaya, Khasa. These are different races. And Srila Prabhupada explains, Kirata is one of the province in the old Bharat. And then it says Huna. Huna is a part of Germany and Russia. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, Germany and Russia are mentioned in the form of Huna. That's, even with those races, they will get purified. Andhra, which is about Andhra Pradesh. Pulinda, Andhra Pradesh is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's such a glorious thing. Pulinda, the Greeks. Pulkasha, Abhira is in part of old Sindh. Shumbha, Yavana is the Turkey. Khasa is Mongol. All these different kinds of races. Ye anyecha papa yat apashrayashraya. If we just take shelter of the devotees of the Lord, ashrayashraya, take the ashray of those who have taken ashray of the Supreme Lord, then all their sinful activities will go away. Reactions would actually go away. So then it is said that now Shukadev Goswami starts answering the question. After glorifying the glorification of the Lord, after glorifying the Lord himself, then he speaks. He says that Brahma was born and he was inspired from within to, on the top of the lotus flower, from the flower that was emanating from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, which is explained in detail in the next chapter, where it says that may the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who enlivens the materially created bodies of the elements by lying down within the universe, and who is in his Purusha incarnation, causes the living beings to be subjected to the 16 divisions of modes, be pleased to decorate my statements. Then he pays obeisances to Vyasadeva. So he glorified Krishna, then he glorified Vyasadeva, and now he is beginning to answer. And he's answering by saying, look, I will answer your question by citing the same question that was asked by Narada Muni to Brahma. Narada Muni, then we go to the next chapter. Narada Muni to Brahma. This chapter is called The Cause of All Causes. It says, Narad Muni asks Brahma, my dear Brahma, you are my father. Narad Muni, from his previous life in first canto, we saw that he actually had a vision of the Lord in his previous life. And then he tried so much again to get that same vision, and he was not getting that vision. And because of that, there was a sound that came from the sky, and it said, have patience. Just continue the way you are doing your devotional service, and in the next life, you will become Narada, who will glorify me every moment. And thus, Narada came out of the body of Brahma. Even though he was an eternally liberated soul, but he came through the medium of Brahma, just like Nrsingadev. He came through the pillar. Does it mean that Nrsingadev actually is born out of a pillar? No, that was just a medium through which he appeared. Similarly, Brahma was the medium through which Narad Muni appeared. But still, from that point of view, Brahma is the father of Narad Muni. So Narad Muni is asking, my dear Brahma, please, I see that you have created everything. You are the controller. Please describe me how this manifest world is created. What is its background? How is it conserved? Whose control is this being done? I think it is under your control, but I want to hear from you. What is the source of your knowledge? Are you the source of your own knowledge? Are you standing by your own protection? Under whom are you working? What is your real position, my dear Brahma, my dear Father? Do you alone create all these entities? And before Brahma can answer, he says, let me clarify. The reason I'm asking you, I have full faith. I've seen you doing all these wonderful activities. But I've also seen you performing meditation. And I believe you create this creation just like a spider creates its cobwebs. And then it creates from within, but it is not stuck in its own cobweb. Similarly, you create it and you're not stuck. But I've seen that you perform meditation. Who are you meditating upon? I see that you perform discipline and you perform austerities. Why are you having to be disciplined? Why can't you just enjoy if you are the Supreme Person? I'm sorry to ask this, but this is my doubt. I have full faith in you. Whatever you say, I will accept it as the absolute truth. The word here used is, I'm asking you as Anushasita. In Srimad Bhagavatam, when Narad Muni is asking Brahma all these questions, how is it conserved? Who are you? Who's the creator? Who is it? Are you the one? And then after asking that, just so Brahma doesn't feel offended, he says, I'm your student. Anushasita, I'm disciplined under you. Just like Arjuna told Krishna, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha prichhami tvam dharma sammuracheta yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. That shishyasteham, I'm your student. I'm surrendered unto you. Shadhimam tvam prapannam, I'm surrendered. Please instruct me. And so we see the same, just like Arjuna asked Krishna, in the same way Narad Muni asked Brahma. This is constant Vaishnava etiquette. This Vaishnava etiquette is so important. It is not just a formality, my dear devotees. Nowadays, when we meet a Vaishnava, when we meet a devotee, we just say, Vanchas. Instead of saying, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhya evacha, patitanam pavanebhyo, vaishnavebhyo namo namah. We say, Vanchas Prabhu. This is not a formality. We no, we should not offer obeisances. It's not, let's just, and I know, my heart, I know your heart. We are good. No, this is purpose of Vaishnava etiquette is to please Krishna. The purpose is not to just formality sake, but this brings that mood of respect, of Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnana. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. That I offer all respects to others, expect none in return. When we go through these Vaishnava etiquette and actually speak in such a way by glorifying others before we ask any inquiry, and then glorify later also. If you see, they give all the questions that are asked are always in a sandwich. First, they glorify the Lord. When they ask a question to the Lord or to their spiritual master, they glorify, then they ask the question, then they glorify again. This is Vaishnava etiquette. So Brahmaji, now when Narada Muni said, I'm just asking you the question because I've seen you perform these austerities. Why do you have to perform if you are the supreme controller? Are you really? Do you create it? Whatever you say, I will accept it blindly. Now, Brahma, at this point, he could have said, yeah, I am the most powerful. Or, yeah, you're right. That's it. He could have just said that. And Narada Muni would have accepted Brahma is the supreme personality of Godhead. But he didn't do that. He humbly submitted the spiritual truths. Not like certain gurus who claim, I am God. Srila Prabhupada said, if you claim to be God, then you are actually DOG, because there's only one God. One time Srila Prabhupada was traveling in a train with a Mayavadi guru, and Srila Prabhupada started arguing, are you God? He said, yes, I'm God. And he was arguing back and forth. Srila Prabhupada was giving more arguments, but God is really beautiful. I don't see you beautiful. And all these things. And he was counteracting. Then after some time, this Mayavadi, he said, all right, I will continue my arguments with you, but I have to go answer nature's call. I'll come back and then I'll argue. And Srila Prabhupada said he caught hold of his thighs, of his legs, his thighs, and he said, nope, you're not going anywhere. He said, I'm willing to debate with you. I just want to, answer nature's call and I'll come back. He said, no, if you are God, if you are the supreme personality of Godhead that you claim, you should be able to control your motions. And he said, he didn't have any answer. So he said, he tried to tolerate for some time. And Srila Prabhupada said, all right, we'll wait. I'm ready to wait. And they were debating. And this Mayavadi guru was really very, very uncomfortable. And after some time, he said, Swamiji, I really have to go. Please. He said, then you claim that you are not God. Then I will let you go. He said, okay, I'm not God. And he just ran to the restroom. So if we cannot even control our bowel movements, what kind of a God are we? What kind of a controller are we? And Srila Prabhupada exposed that. We are not God. One time in Australia, a student in the university, after Srila Prabhupada's lecture, Srila Prabhupada asked any questions, as usually, and a student raised his hands. And he said, the student said, in your lecture, you said that we are not God, but I choose to be God. And Srila Prabhupada, when he heard that, his lips were quivering. Srila Prabhupada's lips would quiver when he would be angry, when others would be either offending a devotee or the Supreme Lord. But Srila Prabhupada said, but my God is powerful. So this person said, well, I choose to be that powerful God. And so Srila Prabhupada said, and he said something which only Srila Prabhupada can say. We cannot imitate what he said. Srila Prabhupada said with a lot of compassion and with a lot of compassion on that particular person to show mercy to him. Srila Prabhupada said, I choose to kick on your face with shoes. Can you stop me? And this person was rattled because he was saying, I choose to be God. I choose to be powerful like God. And he said, but I choose to kick you on your face. And this student was rattled. And he said, well, give me some time. I'll get back to you. Srila Prabhupada said, my God is powerful all the time. And then Srila Prabhupada immediately, his mood changed from a ferocious lion to a soft rose. And he said, don't think of such nonsense. Try to be godly. Don't try to be God. So this is an indication where Brahma had an opportunity where he could have accepted. He could have just said, yes, you are right. And he need not have said anything else. Narada Muni would have accepted Brahma is God. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada was in the same mood of Lord Brahma. One time in our ISKCON movement in early 1970s, there was a group of sannyasis who were spreading the rumor that actually Srila Prabhupada is God. Because Srila Prabhupada had gone from US to India, and he was starting to preach more and more in India. And the disciples in North America and other places of the world were feeling left off. And they were feeling, why is Srila Prabhupada? We used to get so much personal association of Srila Prabhupada. Why is Srila Prabhupada not here? And still they would be continuing to serve in separation. But these four sannyasis, they were spreading. Do you know why Srila Prabhupada has left us? Because we have ignored his position as God. Actually, Srila Prabhupada is God. He's just not telling us. He's just expecting us to understand. And we are not understanding. That's why he has left us. And all these innocent devotees were like, really? But Srila Prabhupada says in his books that a guru must be worshipped as good as God. They would say, see, this is the proof. A guru must be worshipped as good as God. So Srila Prabhupada is God. And all these devotees, their heart was just broken. What should we believe? Why is Srila Prabhupada not clearly saying that he's God, if he's really God? And some believed them completely. Slowly, steadily, this rumor reached Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was furious. He said, I have written in my books, a guru is not God. Guru is godly. I am not God. I have written in so many different ways that guru cannot be God, that we are not God. There is one supreme personality of Godhead. We are the servant of the servant of the servant of God, including me, Srila Prabhupada said. And then he came to America and he clarified all of this rumors with all the disciples, and these four sannyasis, he mercifully banned them for a year. And he said, but you go out and you continue preaching and you follow your vows of sannyas for 1 year, but you'll not be allowed in a temple. After that, you can enter the temple, but for 1 year, you have to learn a lesson. And these four sannyasis, to their credit, they were so sincere that they were always together and they would just go around chanting and dancing and spreading Srila Prabhupada's books, distributing them. And as a result of that, one of the great sannyasis, gurus today, Srila Indradumna Maharaj, was introduced by these four sannyasis who came and stayed in his house. So anything that happens in spiritual life, it may look like Srila Prabhupada banned them, and he protected the innocent devotees, but he also protected those four sannyasis. And then when they came back, they were welcomed again, and their positions were reinstated. But Srila Prabhupada could have said, yes, I am God. Just like a modern guru who was asked, are you God? He said, no, actually I'm not God. But my followers, they are emotional. They think I'm God. So I don't want to break their heart. And therefore, I don't clarify to them. But yeah, I'm not God. No, Srila Prabhupada was, yes, I'm not God. And I will clarify to my followers, I'm not God. So Lord Brahma, in the same mood, he clarified, my dear Narada, what you are thinking based on your observation, it's not your fault. Anyone seeing all my activities can believe that I am actually God. But the fact is, I am working under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. I offer obeisances to Krishna. And then he started explaining all the creation that comes. Because Srila Prabhupada said, We know how great, we say that God is great, but do we know how great He is? God is great, but how great? We need to know how great He is, and Srimad Bhagavatam explains this whole process of creation. Now, we may be thinking, Maharaj Pariksit had just 7 days to live. Why would Shukdev Goswami and Maharaj Pariksit ask about all this creation and stuff? They should have gone directly to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and gone into the Leelas. That was more important. 7 days, you can have 7 lifetimes and you will not be able to complete the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Why are they wasting that special moment in creation? 7 days to live. And it's such a difficult subject matter. What will anyone gain? But if Shukdev Goswami has spoken, Maharaj Pariksit had asked in such an important juncture of their life, it must be something really important. Then he says, I was created by Lord Narayan and I discovered everything under his vision as a super soul. Then he speaks about the 3 modes of nature. He says, as the Mahavishnu, the Karanodakshai Vishnu, he lies on the causal ocean, Karanodak Sagar. Mahatattva comes out of him. Mahatattva is the principle of all material creation. From that Mahatattva comes time. From time come the 3 modes of material nature. And activities done under the 3 modes of material nature, under the purview of time, is called karma. This is exactly what Srila Prabhupada says in his introduction to Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, the 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then from these 3 modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, all the rest of the things come out. When the false ego is influenced by the mode of ignorance, from there, all the sense activities come. From there, from false ego comes the sound. When touch is added to sound, air comes out. When form is added to air, fire comes out. When taste is added to fire, water comes out. And when smell is added to water, earth comes out. So in this way, we see that sound plus touch is air, air plus form is fire, fire plus taste is water, water plus smell is earth. In this way, we see all these different things. This happens from mode of ignorance. From mode of goodness, mind is generated. Now, this is sometimes counterintuitive. How can mind be generated from the mode of goodness? Therefore, while chanting, it is true, the mind is actually in the mode of goodness. If you leave it alone, this is the process of vipassana. Vipassana is you just observe the mind. You don't judge the mind. You don't direct the mind. You just observe the mind, the thinking, feeling, and willing. And through this process of just observation and not judging and not panicking and not getting excited, the mind comes back to its original state of the mode of goodness. But the process of chanting is to go even beyond that. So when we are chanting, we should come to this state where the mind is not directed by the intelligence in one sense, because intelligence comes from the mode of passion. That's the next thing that Brahma says. So the practical application of these verses is that when we are chanting, just give your mind a simple task. Bhurijan Prabhu says in his book Japa, he says, if you give your mind a big task, oh, you have to chant 16 rounds, the mind goes in panic, and then intelligence comes in, and then you start planning, okay, how will I do my time management? How many rounds in the morning? How many rounds in the afternoon? Can I finish all the rounds in the morning? All of these things. No. Just give it a simple task. Just chant one mantra. That's it. That's all your task is. Can you chant one mantra? And the mind would be like, yeah, I can. And the intelligence would go, yeah, that's fine. The mind can handle it. I don't need to plan and all that. He says, don't even chant one mantra. Just chant one name. Just focus on Hare. Focus on Krishna. Focus on Rama. Hearing. That's all I'm asking. You missed focusing on the previous mantra, forget about it. Just focus on this mantra, this name that I'm talking about. That's all. Don't regret that I did not focus on the holy name in the past. Don't regret, don't hanker for how am I going to do all my rounds today? I'm not focusing. What's going on? I'm not feeling any concentration. Don't worry about that. Just focus on this one mantra, one name. Just focus on Hare. When you're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, start by just saying, okay, just focus on Hare. Whenever Hare comes, I will listen. Then after a few mantras, whenever Krishna comes, I will listen. Whenever Hare Krishna comes, I will listen. Hare Krishna Ram comes, I will listen. Slowly, steadily, it's like getting on a train. Once the train leaves the station, one bogie goes, all the bogies start coming together. So just focus on one name, and then the next name, and then the next name, and slowly you'll be able to focus on the whole mantra. But don't put your mind into panic. Let it be. It is by nature going to be in the mode of goodness. Don't try to artificially force itself to concentrate. Put your intelligence to sleep, focus, and the mind will come back to its mode of goodness. From mode of passion, intelligence is created and sense organs are created. All of this Mahat Tattva and time and activities and three modes and intelligence and all of this earth, water, fire, air, ether, all of that is just together in the causal ocean. Nothing happens until the Lord glances onto it. Then all of this starts working together. Just like you can, when we are cooking, we can mix all the ingredients. We can put the vegetables, we can put the water, we can put the salt and all of these different condiments. But until you light the fire, none of the cooking starts. Just because everything is together doesn't mean it's going to cook. Similarly, that fire is the glance of the Lord. When the Lord glances and impregnates the living entities into this whole primordial soup, if you may say, then the Lord expands as Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, also called as Hiranyagarbha, enters into each universe and he assumes a Virata-Rupa. This is in the 5th chapter, 36th verse. Yasyeha vayavair lokan kalpayanti manishinaha katya adibhiradi sapta saptordhvam jaganadhibhi. Great philosophers imagine that the complete planetary systems in the universe are displays of the different upper and lower limbs of the universal body of the Lord, Virat Purusha. It says Kalpayanti. Srila Prabhupada says Kalpayanti means this Virat Rupa or Vishwa Rupa is just imaginary. It says that in this Virat Rupa, this is just for the impersonalists to make them understand that the Lord can also have a form. Otherwise, there is no use of this Virat Rupa. It doesn't actually exist. It is only an imaginary thing in terms of just for the speculative philosophers, just for the Mayavadis who think Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, who feel that the world is a void, the supreme absolute truth is a void. So in order for them to understand, no, God is a person, first step, imagine Virat Rupa. And what is this Virat Rupa? The Brahmanas are the mouth, the Kshatriyas are the arms, the Vaishyas are the thighs, and Shudras are the legs. You can also see there are 14 planetary systems. These 14 planetary systems are arranged on the body of the Virat Rupa. The 14 planetary systems do exist, but they exist on the body of the Virat Rupa. Satyaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, Maharloka, Swarloka, Bhuvarloka, Bhurloka, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. These are the 14 planetary systems, of which the bottom 8 up till Bhurloka, planet Earth, they reside on the lower torso of the Lord. The Patala is the soles of the feet. Rasatala is the upper portion of the feet. Mahatala is the ankles of the Lord. Talatala is shanks of the Lord, is the calves of the Lord. Sutala are the knees. Vitala Loka is the thighs of the Lord. Atala is the waist. Bhurloka is the planet Earth, which is between the waist and the navel. And then higher than that is the Bhuvarloka, which is the navel of the Lord, which is the navel of the Virata-Rupa. And then Swarloka, Maharloka, they are the chest. Janaloka, Tapaloka are the neck. Satyaloka, where Brahma resides, is the head of this Virata-Rupa. These are the 14 planetary systems that you can imagine of the Virata-Rupa. And in this way, he ends the 5th chapter and continues the 6th chapter of Purusha Sukta. He describes the Virata-Rupa in many more forms. He said, you can imagine, Kalpitasya, you can imagine the Virata-Rupa, 14 planetary systems all over his body, or you can imagine in 3, Bhu, Bhuvar, Swaha. We say, Om, Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha. As we say, Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, you can see. And then he says, the hair on the body of the Lord is all the vegetation, and all the trees is like the hair on the body of the Lord. The consciousness of the body is the abode of the religious principles of that Virata-Rupa. Then he explains, Brahma explains about the spiritual world, which consists of 3/4 of the Lord's energy. But still the Lord is completely aloof from the material manifestations. The example, like sun, is separated from heat and fire. Wherever heat and fire is there, we can see there is sun. Wherever sun is there, heat and fire is there. But if the sunlight comes into our room gets illuminated. But if sun comes into our room, we will not be in the room. So sun is same as sunlight, but different from sunlight. Similarly, the Lord creates these material manifestations, but is aloof from them. Just like Srila Prabhupada gave this example of a tape recorder. He said, now this tape recorder, this lecture is being taped in a tape recorder. Now, when you hear this lecture on the tape recorder again, is it me who is speaking? No, I am somewhere else. But now you have captured my energy, the voice energy, sound energy, and now you're replaying that sound energy. It is me, but it is still not me. I'm aloof from it. Similarly, we are watching this video. Later, when you see the recording of this video, you'll see us, but is it really us? No, it's just a separated material energy, separated energy of ours. And in this way, it's explained how Lord is aloof from the incarnation. And then Brahma says, you want to know how I was born? When this whole creation was made, when Garbhodakshai Vishnu laid on the Garbhodak ocean, from his navel came out a lotus stem. On top there was of the lotus flower, I was born. Padmaja, he's called Swayambhu, he's called Padmaja, coming out of the flower. But when I came out, I saw it was darkness. Everywhere it was darkness. I didn't know who I was. I couldn't even see myself. What is my purpose? Where am I? Who am I? These are the exact same questions that Sanatana Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ke ami, kene amai jarata putroy. Who am I? Where did I come from? And why am I suffering? What is the purpose of my life? And so Brahma, he saw that there is some lotus flower and there are some stem. He started going down the stem. As he was going down the stem in the darkness, he started hearing these sounds of the waves, tumultuous waves of the Garbhodak ocean. Hearing all of this, he became so afraid. What is this? This is all darkness and these scary sounds are coming. He went back up and he was so helpless. In that helplessness, he started praying, whoever is my creator, please, please, I beg you, please reveal to me, who am I? What should I do? And then, because of chanting and begging out of hopelessness and helplessness, he found hope. He heard 2 words, tapa, tapa. These are the first words of the creation. Tapa means, and from within his mind, within his heart, it was revealed. Tapa means to perform austerities. And he was inspired from within by the Supreme Lord to perform austerities and sacrifices. And he was thinking, how do I perform sacrifices? And then it was just the body of the personality of the Lord and Brahma himself. And so he, from the body of the personality of the God, Godhead is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. He created all the paraphernalia for sacrifice. The lotus flower is the body of the Supreme Lord because it is coming from the navel of the Supreme Lord. It's completely attached like an umbilical cord. So he took some of the petals of the lotus flower and created sacrificial paraphernalia. For sacrifice, Lord Brahma said, I required flowers, I required leaves, straw, sacrificial altar. I wanted suitable time, I wanted utensils, grains, ghee, clarified butter, honey, gold, earth, water, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda. All of this I was able to create from the lotus flower, from the body of the personality of Godhead. And then, after performing sacrifices with humility and earnest eagerness and desire to know about the Lord, Krishna came. He had darshan of Krishna. And Krishna initiated him with his flute, with the eighth note of his flute. And then when the flute, sound of the flute entered the ear of Brahma, Brahma was self-realized. And from his mouth came the Gayatri mantra, Gayatri Devi. Srila Prabhupada says, Om in this way is very significant because when Krishna began to play his flute, that sound vibration accompanied with Om entered into the ear of Brahma. And the letter Om is made up of three letters. The word Om, A-U-N-M, Aum. It's actually Aum. It's not Om, Aum. That describes a relationship, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan, A-U-N-M. And when this sound vibration of Krishna's flute was expressed through the mouth of Brahma, it went in, came out as Gayatri. It became Gayatri. Even Srila Jiva Goswami says that Brahma was initiated as a Brahmana by the flute of Krishna. And that's how Brahma Samhita came out. When he had the darshan of Lord Krishna, he started glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. What we read today is Samhita, Brahma Samhita, Brahma's remembrance of how he had first darshan of Krishna. And that's why Om is very significant, because Om is the symbol of Sat Chit Ananda, eternity, full of knowledge and full of bliss. That's why it said Hari Om Tat Sat. It means that absolute truth is eternal. Srila Prabhupada also said A, U, and M. A refers to Krishna, U refers to Radha, and Ma refers to the Jiva. So the Hare Krishna mantra is also another presentation of Om. It's a more personal form of the impersonal representation of Om. And then Brahma described, after I had the darshan of Krishna, then I was inspired from within. Krishna inspired what I need to do. What is my purpose is to further create. Based on his basic creation, I'm the secondary creator. I'm the engineer of this universe. I created the Manus, the sages, the forefathers. And then Lord Shiva, he destroys. I create Brahma, and Vishnu maintains. The reason then, Lord Brahma says a very important verse in the 6th chapter. The reason I'm describing all of this is for you to understand that everything depends on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is what our understanding, when we understand the creation, we will factually become more and more dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnaika Sharanam, of the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava, this is the biggest quality. And therefore, Lord Brahma says, I take shelter of Lord Krishna. Then Brahma ends by saying that, he says that everything that appears to be great, the beauty, modesty, forgiveness, strength, all of them are nothing but a fragment of the transcendental potency of the Lord. This reminds us of this verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna said the same thing. Brahma is saying the same thing. Krishna said, In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 41st verse, Yad Yad Vibhuti Mat Sattvam Srimad Urjitam Evava Tattadeva Vagachatvam Mama Tejomsa Sambhavam. Know that all beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. And then Brahma ends this chapter by saying, I will now tell you the Leela avatars of Krishna. So from next chapter, 7th chapter onwards, we will hear how Brahma is describing the Leela avatars of Krishna. There are 6 kinds of avatars. There is the Manavantara avatar, there is the Guna avatar, there is the Leela avatars, Yuga avatar, Purusha avatar, and Shaktiavesh avatar. 6 different categories of avatars. And next, we will hear the Leela avatars of Krishna. So this was the synopsis of the 4th, 5th, and 6th chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2. At this point, we will end here. And if there are any questions, we can take now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I also have, in previous sessions, there were some questions which were asked. One was about when did Arjuna fight Indra? Because in one of the in the last end of the last canto, it was said Arjuna was saying, when I fought Indra, Krishna was with me and therefore I could win. So there was a question, how did Arjuna fight Indra? And the other question was about the creation. So it's quite long now. I took quite a time. So I'm not sure if we can answer it today, but we'll try our best. Maybe when it's a shorter class, we'll be able to answer these questions. Any other questions here? Okay, from Facebook. Of the 14 planetary systems, why are Bhu, Bhuvar, Swarga given prominence in the Brahma Gayatri? Well, it is actually to be understood that it is said that ultimately it is the Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, and Swargaloka. That Bhu represents the Earth planet that we are in. And we keep transcending the Bhuva and the Swargalokas. And then we reach the spiritual realm. So just like a catalyst helps in fastening the chemical process, so the Gayatri mantras, they help us to fasten the process of chanting the holy names, to go to the spiritual world. So Bhu is the lower planetary system, Bhuvar is the combination of the middle planetary system, which is just Bhuvarloka, and Swargaloka is the manifestation of the upper planetary systems. This is given in Srimad Bhagavatam after speaking. Brahma told about the 14 planetary systems on the Virata-Rupa. He said, immediate next verse, which is the last verse of the 5th chapter, that this can also be divided into 3 sections. So it is different ways that we can see 14 planetary systems. The Virata-Rupa can be in 14 planetary systems or in major 3 planetary systems that we can see. It's when they say Bhu, Bhuvar, Swarga, it's more of a collection of lower, middle, and upper planetary systems. Okay, there's another question. Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Can you clarify the terms Pradhan, Prakriti, Mahat Tattva, and the order? Why was Arjuna showed the Virat Rupa? Well, this we will learn more in detail in the coming chapters. So I don't want to steal the thunder from the next chapters where it describes Pradhan and also the other things. But Mahat Tattva is the primordial soup, basically, from which everything else emanates. Mahat Tattva comes from the causal, from the Karano Dakshai Vishnu, and then everything else, the time, the activities, 3 modes, comes out from that. So today's scope is only till Mahat Tattva. In future, we will explain about Pradhan, Prakriti, and its relation with Mahat Tattva as Lord Brahma explains. Okay? Okay, Ashesha Gauranga Prabhu, thank you, Prabhu. Is there explanation of other worlds have also 14 planetary systems? Well, yes, there are so many different universes, and Brahma is explaining about this universe, but it is again, I would believe in every universe there would be 14 planetary systems, but Brahma, our Brahma, is in this universe is four-headed Brahma. But then there are eight-headed Brahmas, 16-headed Brahma, 32-headed Brahmas, 1,000-headed Brahmas. And so depending on the number of heads, that much intelligence they have, and things like that. But the planetary systems, I believe, are the same, because I have not seen any read any evidence where it says that other universes have different other kinds of planetary systems. But if someone can bring that quote, that's good. But I haven't heard any other universes having other than these 14 planetary systems. Okay, there's another question by Jai Shankar Murugesh Prabhu. What is the meaning of Purusha Sukta? And Lord Brahma is the creator of this world, material world, initially only, or any living entity that takes birth is also because Brahma's creation is happening daily. Okay. The meaning of Purusha Sukta, as they say, Purusha is the supreme person, the supreme enjoyer. And Purusha Sukta are prayers that are meant to satisfy the Purusha. Like it is said, all the living entities are Prakriti. And Sa Ukta, Ukta means to speak. Sa Ukta means beautiful speaks, beautiful poems, beautiful speeches for the pleasure of Purusha, who is the supreme enjoyer, which is made by Prakriti. We are all Prakriti, Krishna is the supreme Purusha. So that's what Purusha Sukta is. The second is Lord Brahma is creator of this material world initially only, or any living entity that takes birth is also because of Brahma's creation happening daily. So Brahma is like the engineer of this universe. He's the secondary creator. And the way he creates is just like we create a machine. When we create a machine, it just keeps popping things. You know, you just press a button and the machine starts. Now the machine is taking care of creating things, doing things. It's a computer program. You do a computer program and you just press a button, and now it continues until you stop the particular program, right? And it continues to give its results. Similarly, Brahma creates. I mean, he creates in a secondary creator. He creates from the ingredients given by the Supreme Personality, but he creates in such a way that once you put it in motion, it'll just continue, just as a machine continues. And so the process of birth is all a part of this material nature going in its natural sequence in the order of the karma and time, and all of these things then take over, and it's just an automatic system which continues. Unless someone prays to the mercy of the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord can then intervene and change the course of material nature for that particular living entity. I hope that answers your question. Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Another question. Krishna, U Radha, why is Ma Jiva? Okay, that is because it is said that when we say Aum, then it is the Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. So Sambandha is we are having the relationship with Krishna. So we start with the relationship with Krishna. Who is Radha? Radha is the one who we ask permission from. She is the mother. And Ma is the Jiva, who is actually chanting this particular mantra, who's trying to build a relationship. So whenever we see Krishna, Krishna is not alone. He comes with all his associates. You will never see Krishna alone. Krishna will either be with his cows or with his deers or trees surrounding him. A king means his kingdom also. A king without a kingdom is not a king. So a king means his kingdom. Krishna means Radha and Jivas and everything together. That is what is the representation of Aum. Now, why that happens, that is how Krishna, when he with his flute, that's how he created that. And he empowered Om with that particular potency of these three things. Okay, there's another question by Jay Shankar, no, Shweta Suryanarayan. Is Goloka not in this 14 planetary system? Please help us understand why it is termed Goloka. Goloka, no, Goloka is not in these 14 planetary systems. Very good question. Brahma actually explains in this, and probably because of lack of time, I did not go into that. So thank you for this question. In beyond these 14 planetary systems is then other universes. Beyond Mahavishnu is then the spiritual universe starts, which is 3/4 of the creation. And so Goloka Vrindavan is not part of the 14 planetary systems. It's even beyond the 14, and beyond the universes, beyond the material creation is when the spiritual creation starts. In that spiritual creation, there are multiple planetary systems. There are multiple planets. There is planet of Lord Rama, planet of Narayan, planet of Vishnu, Vishnu with different Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma combination, 4 factorial combinations of Vishnu. And then there is the planet of Dwaraka. And more intimate is the planet of Krishna. Krishna, he loves cows. Go Loka. Go means cows. Loka means world. Go Loka is the world of cows. That's the highest planet in the spiritual world, which is what Krishna likes, because Krishna loves cows. So much so that he is calling his planet as Goloka. It is said that unless we serve cows, it's very difficult to go back to Goloka Vrindavan. I mean, we may chant, we may do so many things, but if we have not served cows here in this material world, how can we serve cows in Goloka, after whom the planet is named, the highest planet? So it is very important to serve the cows. Thank you for this question. Madhavi Gopi Mataji, welcome. Thank you for the question. Is there only one sun per universe, per Milky Way, or per solar system? Okay, so this is a very nice question because it combines modern science with the Vedic cosmology. But there is a certain difference in perspective of how the Vedic cosmology is and the modern sciences. Vedic cosmology is seeing it from a very, very colossal platform of not just one universe, of multiverses. And slowly the scientists and physicists are coming to terms that there could be multiple universes. And even that universe, sun that is there, is a planet in the Swargaloka. According to the 14 planetary system, it's in the Swargaloka. Moon is also in the Swargaloka, but the Earth planet is in the Bhuloka. It's the same thing, but you are just seeing it from a different perspective. Here they are seeing it as different planetary systems, different planes. The same plane, if you just tilt it and see from a different angle, you'll be able to see the sun in the middle and all the other planets which are in other planetary system. If you cut a slice, here's a cake. If you cut a cake straight from top, you'll get a different profile. If you cut a cake from slant, you'll see a different profile. So similarly, the modern science is seeing from cutting the stem on a very different axis. And so in that sense, if you see, there's only one sun per universe, because in Swargaloka, there is a Surya Loka, Surya planet. So there is, per universe, in that sense, there is only one sun. But then there are many stars. And according to modern science, sun is also a star. So it just depends on what is your terminology. But if we combine modern terminology with the perspective that the Vedas are giving, we'll get very, very confused. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada has envisioned this temple of Vedic planetarium, which can actually propose the Vedic cosmology in a very understandable way to the modern people and the perspective. And in this way, it can help the entire world. I hope that answers your question. There's another question. Please, could you explain in more detail why God created Maya? Oh, wow. This is a wonderful question, and it's a class in itself, but I'll try to say in short. It is said that darkness is nothing but absence of light. We can measure light. We can measure the luminosity, that the light is this much lumen, or it's higher lumen, this much volt, this much, but we cannot measure darkness. Darkness is measured only in relation to light. As much less light, that much more darkness, right? Similarly, uh, Krishna hoy Surya sama, Maya andhakar. Jaha Krishna, tar nahi mayar adhikar. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna is like sun, is like light. Maya hoy andhakar. Maya is like darkness. Darkness depends on its existence on light, because darkness means absence of light. Therefore, Maya simply means absence of Krishna. So, as soon as we take our face away from Krishna, we are in Maya. When we turn towards Krishna, but there is no more Maya. So it is not that Maya is a particular thing. Maya is in our consciousness. If I see a flower, that flower, is it Maya or is it spiritual? Is it material or is it spiritual? The flower in itself is neither material nor spiritual. It's my consciousness with which I'm seeing the flower. Am I seeing the flower for my enjoyment? I will pluck it and I will smell it and I will enjoy. Or am I seeing, oh, such a beautiful flower, let me offer it to Krishna. It belongs to Krishna. If I have the first mentality for my own enjoyment, then that same flower became material. But I have the second mentality of offering to Krishna, the same flower with the same matter suddenly became spiritual. So God created Maya in the sense just to keep us in this material world, but He's always available. He's always hoping that we will turn back to Him. He creates different circumstances so we can turn to Him, and voluntarily, once we turn to Him, Krishna tells Maya, don't trouble this person, because automatically there is no darkness. I hope that makes sense. Sudesh Krishnamurthy Prabhu, on the top, please explain my question I have posed. Okay. Why does man having some power claim to be God, even though he knows he will die one day? This is because of false ego. This is, if you see technically, if we see in the context of what we are discussing nowadays, here in Canto Two, false ego, ahankara. Ahankara is an element which actually makes us identify with this body, which makes us think, I am the doer. I am ahankara vimurhatma, kartahamiti manyate. One who is bewildered by this ahankara, by this false ego. He thinks, I am the doer. Everyone is dying, but it will not happen to me. This is because of false ego, which is controlled by Maya, the material energy. And it's because we desire, we want to be the enjoyer. Everything is based on our desire in this material world, everywhere. If I want to be cheated, if I want something really quick and fast, Krishna will arrange that I will get something quick and fast, but it will not have quality. Similarly, if I desire, I want to be God, I want to be the enjoyer, then Krishna has to put us in a state of mind that we have to forget that there is another enjoyer called Krishna. We have to forget that we are going to die. In order to facilitate that desire, Krishna makes us forget that. If my desire is, hey, I want to enjoy, Krishna says, okay, if you really want to enjoy, if you think of all the bad things that are going to happen to you or bad things that have happened to you, you really cannot enjoy. So you know what? I will give you forgetfulness. Matto smritir apohanam cha. Krishna gives remembrance, Krishna gives forgetfulness. So he gives us the forgetfulness. And even though we can see things happening right in our front of our eyes, everyone is dying. Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti yamalayam. The Yaksha asked Yudhishthir, what is the greatest amazement? And Yudhishthir said the same thing. Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti yamalayam. Shesha sthavara icchanti kim ascharya param. That all the others who are staying back, those who have not dead, they think I will never die. This is the biggest wonder. This happens because of our desire to enjoy. Krishna, we were in the spiritual world. We wanted to enjoy. Krishna said, you cannot enjoy here. I will give you a place. I'll make a Disneyland for you. You can go in all your rides up and down in different bodies and things like that. But there, I have to give you forgetfulness of me. But I hope that one day you will turn back to me and ask for that remembrance, and I will immediately give you that remembrance depending on the intensity with which you ask me. So spiritual life is all about desire. Material life, wanting to be God, is also all about desire, facilitated by the super soul, facilitated by Krishna. I hope that throws some light to the question that you asked. Any other questions or comments? If not, it's really late. Thank you very much for all your patience and eagerness to listen. We still have 2 questions that have to be answered, but we'll answer it next time. Oh, I see that there is one more question by Shamala Gopika Mataji. Mind born out of goodness, but sometimes in dreams, even we don't want, some sinful action comes in mind and feel bad for that. What would be the reason and how can we deal with this? Some sinful action comes in mind even in dream. So we should understand that as long as we are in this material world, these sinful thoughts will keep coming. It is not a surprise that these sinful thoughts are coming in our mind. The question is how we react when these sinful thoughts come. It says even Yamunacharya, one of the great saints of Ramanujacharya Sampradaya, I think the grand spiritual master of Ramanujacharya, he said, Yadavadhi mama cheta Krishna padara vinde tadavadhi navanava rasa uditam rantum asit. Tadavadhi nari sangame smaryamane bhavati mukha vikaraha shushtu nishthi vanamcha. It says, Yad avadhi mama cheta Krishna padarvinde. Since my mind has been in the lotus feet of the Lord, Navanava rasa uditaram tumasit. I get newer and newer mellows and rasas. Tadavadhi nari sangame smaryamane. Since then, whenever the thought of illicit association with women comes to my mind, bhavati mukha vikaraha sushtu nishti vanamcha. My lips curl in distaste and I spit at the thought. So the purport is, even to such a great saint like Yamunacharya, these thoughts do come. Tadavadhi mama cheta nari sangame smaryamane. These thoughts, illicit thoughts do come. But how does he react? He reacts by his lips curl in distaste and he spits at the thought. And how would we react if any thought of sinful sense gratification comes in our mind? It's not bad that that thought came. The question is how we react to that thought. Krishna is watching. How are we reacting to that thought? Are we enjoying that thought? Or are we actually, remembering Krishna to please save us from this seed of sinful thought which can then and remove it at its seed? That is the real question. So let's not be surprised when these thoughts come to our mind, but let's focus on how we react to these thoughts. I hope that answers your question. So I won't take much of your time. Thank you all very much for your kind association and questions. Please continue giving your association to us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Please feel free to like, subscribe, uh, and comment on these videos, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Hare Krishna.